used to be 8. So when it was still 8, I said, if I work 1 hour, I have 8 euros. You know, now we're not considering tax, but that's okay. Let's say I have 8 euros. Or let's say I have, what have I left? Let's say I have 5 left. 1 pineapple costs roughly 1 euro. I can buy 5 pineapples if I work for 1 hour, minus tax, in Germany. In South Africa, a pineapple costs also roughly 1 euro. At the time when I was there, it was 16 rand. 16 rand. Now, the average supermarket worker, and that's just, you know, I was talking to white people and I was asking them, how much does a person who packs the shoppings into bags in the supermarket earn for a wage? From what I heard, because most white people, they don't know these things, but they said, they estimate that it's roughly like maybe 12 rand an hour. That's probably already a little much. So it comes down to maybe 1,000 rand per month. So I think, right? I'm just like, this is just like numbers that I remember. Plus times have changed. I don't know how the South African rand is now. While I was there, you got 15 South African rand for about 1 euro. 15, 1-5. Sometimes it was 17, right? And then, so what happened? Yeah, it's recording. Sweet. And I'm almost there. So I was able to record the whole way. Wow, you hear that? It's like nice and quiet. And then more cars are coming. So one South African worker, let's say he earns 12 rand. It's a bit less than a euro then from 2017 when I was there. Currency, exchange rates and stuff. One pineapple costs 16 rand, 16. Which means if he works 1 hour, if you would subtract, I don't know how much tax they pay, but let's give him the tax. If he works 1 hour, he couldn't buy 1 pineapple. So if I work in Germany, 1 hour, I can buy 5 pineapples. I could go home, if I would have a family with 3 children, each of us could eat 1 pineapple. Now, after 1 hour of working, a South African that goes home to his family of 5 has maybe 80% of 1 pineapple that he earned for 1 hour, right? So just think about it. And then we go there while we earn 5 times as much, or maybe even 20 times as much money as they do in value, what you can get from it. And you go there and you walk around with your nice bright blue, really expensive sneakers and your smart watch and your phone. This is all nothing to you. You go there, you're actually pissing in their face, literally. And then you stop with your expensive car, which would take the average South African worker a whole lifetime to earn, to buy a new car like the one you're driving around with. You just rent that, you know? You don't even have to buy it, you just rent it because you've got so much money, you can afford to rent things. And then you stop at the side of the road at a little shop of a person that's earning money to live. And then you go there and you say, how much is 1 blanket? And the person says 200 rand, which is then a bit more than 10 euros. And you say, that's too much. Fucking greedy asshole. That's what you think of him. And that's what he thinks of you. You think he's greedy, he thinks you're greedy. Because you have so much money, but you cannot spare 200 grand for a man that sits in the heat all day to sell blankets. Like, this blanket is not worth it to you. Okay, now you also have to see quality and quantity, because a lot of these blankets are cheap. A lot of these wooden bowls, some of them are quite cheap. So if you don't really want it, then don't go there to buy it, because these things were made for tourists. So when you go there, of course they're also going to try to rip you off. But what does it mean to rip someone off if you don't really have much? But what does it mean? Like, how can I judge that he doesn't have much? Because if he rips off, you know, there are people that have a little shop, and then you go there and they look like the average poor guy. Yeah, they dress in rags, they put on a really sad face, they say things like, "But my baby." And then you go there and you pay 200 rand for this poor guy so that he can feed his family. And at the end of the day, he closes his hut and he goes to his 4x4 and drives home and like, fuck you. So if you want to be cheated, you'll be cheated, right? So the best way would probably be just simply not buy. And now the problem I have, I could probably eat these dandelions. It says don't think about it. If you want to eat them, eat them. If you want to make a fool of yourself, make a fool of yourself. And now it's barred. You say, it isn't. So at what cost am I going to go to this meadow and eat dandelions? Because this energetically belongs to someone. And now I'm going here, you could say I'm eating their dandelions. There's a bee. And the fact that dandelion is growing here also seems to say, just take these two. Because I ate sugar, right? Right now I cannot be overly concerned. It's bitter. All right. If you're not used to bitter, it will make you feel nauseous. Okay, so also gives me a better taste in the mouth. Also better taste in the stomach. Because all of this sugar, this calms you down a little. Alright, so I've talked about holiday, I've talked about territory. When you go to travel, which I like traveling, I like making new experiences, you also have to understand that you're going to a different way of life. Africa is like kill or be killed in the very dramatic kind of way, right? It sounds very dramatic to say that, but to a certain degree, that's how it is. I mean, they still have a lot of wildlife. They still have venomous snakes. The time I've spent in Africa amongst people who lived there, but also the time I've spent in Africa amongst deadly animals has changed me entirely. But not only, it didn't only change me, it just brought forth what was already inside. Because when I was there with my family, I realized, but also with other people, I realized they were all different. I was able to cope in Africa very well, very well. When I had really venomous scorpions coming out of my sink while I was brushing my teeth, or still brushing my teeth, you could say, because I stopped. You know what I did? I just took a glass jar, put it in, brought it outside. Other people would just, there's a scorpion! And they would just shit their pants and call for help. And I just did it myself. You know, to me, discovering giant pythons was exciting. But yes, some moments were scary. So the moment when I was the first time alone in a city center and somebody tried to mug me with a knife pointed towards my face, and 3 other guys, they were all just kids, but so was I in a way. Whatever happens spiritually, whatever kind of being I am, right? Whatever kind of avatar or guru or whatever you think you are, or whoever you were before, and whatever this reincarnation is, you know, I'm not a violent person. But when these 4 guys were holding a knife in my face, I can say that I was a little bit nervous. And I thought, what the fuck am I doing here? That's what I thought. This is your own mistake. You walked here like, despite your feeling telling you, what the fuck are you doing here, man? Because you cannot really trust them. And that's the truth. I should have never followed anyone. And I didn't. There were sometimes people that wanted to come along, but I said no thank you. Because you don't know, right, what they're hiding. But in a way I did know. And nothing happened. Because while these 4 kids were standing there with holding a knife in my face and wanting money from me, an older guy came and took the money from them. Now I was 26 or 25 at the time. I wasn't exactly a child on paper, but if it came to experiences, then I was a child. I was. And so traveling is certainly one thing that shook me up a little. That made me realize there are people that have knives and that want your money. And so what I learned from this was, you don't walk around like a Westerner when you're in Africa. You don't rent the biggest car that you can find because you want comfort. You rent a car that's all right. You rent a car that looks like it can do the job. That's how I feel a little bit better. You travel lightly. You take few things. And you may even look at how is everyone being dressed. When you are somewhere in a city and there is a place you can ask the people in your hostel, you can say, hey, is there a street where I can go to and just shop clothes? And then you just look at how other people are dressed, not just black people. Also, you look at how are white people dressing. Because you don't want to look like, right, like the people in Harry Potter that don't know how muggles dress, right? Because they just look like idiots. But if you look like an idiot in Africa, they're gonna mug you. So you want to blend in. So you wear the clothes that normal people wear there, right? It's like this. These are average trousers that you could get anywhere in the world. They're just like good for work. They don't easily look dirty because they already have a dirty color. So even if there's fat on there, it's alright, right? I'm almost done. I'm almost there. Perfect timing. Just want to check how much time I have. 21 minutes. Yeah. So when you walk there, you just have to make a choice. That's not what I wanted to say. What I wanted to say is, you ask at the hostel, is there a street or a shop where I can buy just normal clothes? Because that's what I said for the next time I'm gonna travel. I'm not gonna bring everything that I need. I'm just gonna bring a few things in a bit smaller backpack. Because I don't want to carry around all that stuff. I want to pack lightly. So that I don't stick out too much. So that I don't have to carry all this shit. Because I don't need much. Maybe I need 3 pieces of underwear. And, you know, if it's like airy underwear, I can wear them, each of them, for 4 days. And then I have maybe 1 pair of trousers. And then I'm gonna check if I just find another one there. So I'm gonna ask at the hostel, is there a street or a shop where it's safe to go as a Westerner or whatever? And then you go there. And if you're uncertain, you could even say, do you maybe know somebody who could walk there with me? Maybe they have a guest that's staying a bit longer at the hostel, right? Maybe they have people there that are always coming back and forth. Maybe they have some kind of sister-in-law or a brother or a nephew that could help you, that could get you there, so that you at least don't get lost. You know, you can do these things. Because when you're in the hostel, these people have an interest to also make sure that the hostel has a good reputation so that people keep coming. Right? So you establish yourself, you know, not as the hostel where people frequently go missing, you know, like in these hostel movies, but more in a kind of way that says, hey, that's a good hostel. You know, it has very good standards, they're very friendly, they also help you to find shops and places that you need. So you say, hey, do you know a shop where I can buy clothes? Because I would just like to dress a bit like everybody dresses. And then you just go there and then you pick out clothes that you think suit you, but you buy them in the shop where anybody of these people could have bought them. And that's the difference. You go there and you buy the clothes in a shop that is accessible to the people there. You may even buy shoes, because if any of these people would go there, they could have had access to these clothes. And that then helps you to blend in. Because if you walk around in another man's territory and you look like, I don't belong here, well, yeah, they might just make use of that. And that was today's hike. I didn't expect this. I think this is one total video. The problem I still have at the moment is, sure, I want to do what I want to do, but I also have the feeling, am I really supposed to overload my channel? What's overloading? You know, sure, I like doing this, but what's the point of having thousands of videos on there with all this information? Who is ever supposed to watch that? So there's still the option that I'm going to split this up. You will see it in its final state, and then you will know what I decided, and that's basically it. Alright, thank you for watching. Cheers, whatever. This was video yeah, now I've said it already. This was video number 7. Yeah, it's like, all right. And I can speak to you later about what came out of this.